All right. Well, here we go. With whatever this thing is. Just, I don't know, this is just out of desperation? I sure hope not. I hear that desperation is a very unsexy thing for everyone, whatever you're trying to do and get in life, but here it is. Here's what I'm like going for here. Sorry, I might keep looking at the viewfinder because it's gonna run out. I will stop at some point, but just to go over, I guess I got notes as well, but like going over just the things in my life. But just to start with where I'm at now. So I am 34 years old. I'm unemployed. I'm single. Ladies, aren't you so turned on by my unemployment? So I'm looking for work. I am educated though. I'm fairly educated, which I can get into. But, you know, I mean, it's just the way it is these days with like degrees and everything and masters, and just still nothing. You know, just still nothing. It just seems like I am trying. Trying to get things in life, and I'm putting in an effort. And I felt like I didn't at a certain point in my life earlier on. It seemed like I needed like quite a bit of a kick up the ass throughout my 20s, so that when I got to my 30s, and then I'm really starting to get in it, and I think of myself as like now a late bloomer, but like now like a real go-getter. But I don't know. Even still with all these things that aren't like really going right for me, you know, and yeah, I guess it does feel like I suck, but I kind of don't care because it's just not a lot of personal responsibility. I guess there should be, but it's hard because I just look at things and just, oh, that fucked me over, or they fucked me over, or, you know, it just didn't come for me. Like, oh, I need to try harder, I need to try better, I need to do it differently. So it is kind of hard because I'm not like, oh, I don't have too many regrets in life, really. I don't have too many regrets, things that I feel like, oh, I've actually fucked that up. It just doesn't seem like I've really done that a lot. But yeah, just to get into it, you know, God, this is so weird, man. It's so strange. Just right into the camera, man. Right into the lens, you know. I might as well like make use out of like my GH4 rather than just using my phone or whatever. My phone, it might feel less intimidating, but I wish I had a bigger lens. I could then see my own reflection, and that'd be horrible, you know. But oh, and another thing I should mention is that like I live on my own because I'm a bloody, you know, trust fundy or whatever. I just, you know, my parents own this place and I pay them rent, and, you know, I wish everyone could pay the kind of rent prices that I pay because it's quite nice. So like I have financial security in my life with like, you know, I have bills paid by them, but like, you know, like Medicare, like health insurance. But aside from that, like, you know, it's not like my parents are going to buy me a PS5 or a new computer or like a bunch of Blu-rays or whatever, like, so I still don't really have like a lot of money to be able to like afford just shit, you know. I gotta, yeah, just all I have is the, you know, good old Seno. It's shameful to be on it though. Like I wish I could actually get a job, you know. I'll get into that some other time, but like, I guess for the first video, just to quickly go over some of the things in my life, and I'll get into them like in more detail, I guess, if anyone gives a shit later on. But this is something that I think about, like childhood versus adulthood though, like, because for me I had a great childhood. It was very good, you know. It was nice, you know. Just sort of middle-ish class, just really no complaints, you know. Nothing like, you know, no like health problems or anything like that. I got along like at school and I had friends and everything. I wasn't getting laid, but obviously that's a problem that you think about later in life. So like I didn't have to think about it then. So that was another good thing about childhood. So yeah, and even my teen years, things started to go down a bit, but it was alright. You know, a lot of people say like, oh, once you hit your teen years, oh, it's terrible. But then after you get over it and everything, and it's just all the mood swings and acne and relationship shit and I don't know, dealing with your parents and everything. And I felt like that came later. I felt like was in my mid-20s, or even like now, actually. So yeah, that's how I feel. So I kind of compared, like, well, I think, like, what would be worse, having a bad childhood or having a bad adulthood? Because I feel like my adulthood it's rough. But like, a bad childhood is bad because it's like, it's very foundational for your life, you know. It can, and even though it's so short, it can fuck you up like in your adulthood. But at least it ends. Like when you hit 18, it's done, and then you have all this time to heal. So there's that. But if you have, assuming that you have like, I'm saying this like if you have like a good adulthood afterwards, you'd have a bad life all the way through, and that's the worst case. But if, but then the other way around, if you have like a good childhood and then a bad adulthood, like that I kind of feel like I'm having. Bad thing about that is like your childhood is only 18 years and then adulthood is just all the way to your death. So it's just way longer, man. It's way longer. But I just felt fine with like, you know, childhood and the teen years and, you know, making friends and just being social and everything. I don't know. And I did okay in school. I did probably a little bit better than okay. Although it started to go down in my teen years, so. But yeah, that seemed to be fine. And then, like, you know, I get to uni, I go into uni, and I guess I was just feeling like, and I felt like some of my friends were like this, like, we weren't encouraged to do things really, like getting a job or getting a license even. I didn't get my license till like 20-something years old. And yeah, I guess for some people it's later, and I just feel like just get it, you know, early. Just get it early, you know, so you can drive around, so you can, like, you know, drive to work and make the money to be able to pay for the petrol in your car that you're just using to get to work and back. No, it makes it all easy. You don't have to just, you know, like I did, just travel around on like public transport, and, you know, I don't know where you might be, but it might be really shit where you live, so it is a hassle. Yeah. It felt like that way with me and my friends, but you know, eventually we each started to sort of get there, and then yeah, I just sort of coasted through uni. But it didn't seem like I was really making friends there. And I don't know, maybe I just didn't give a shit. I think I was making friends like elsewhere in different social circles. And I wouldn't say like a lot, but it was something. And so I basically finished uni. I did filmmaking, by the way. I did a bachelor in fucking filmmaking and a double degree actually in communications and media as well. So I mean, that's something, but I feel like the kind of jobs you get through that is just, it would just be bogus, you know? It would just be, I don't know, but at least it'd be something, at least it'd be a job. I'd still do a bogus job, at least I'd be getting paid, at least I'd be able to like afford shit, so that'd be nice. But I mean, afterwards, like, nothing really changed in my life. Really hope this is recording okay and not fucking up the sound, but whatever. I'm supposed to be a videographer, I'm supposed to be a filmmaker, this should be alright, but anyway. Afterwards, like, yeah, it was just really no work. I mean, I was applying for jobs even throughout uni, but obviously for just retail stuff, and I wasn't getting anything there, and I continued to do that even after uni, but I was applying for jobs to do with filmmaking, and I just got nothing. Some interviews, but that's it. You could never really get through, except working for like a wedding videographer, as a wedding videographer, but that was a crap job and I hated it. And I mean, at the time I was like, well, by the way, throughout all this, like, just no girlfriend, no sex either. Like, you know, I've heard people say, like, you know, oh, I went through high school and, oh, I didn't get laid, but well, here comes college now, and I do my 3 or 4 years in college, get to the end of that, and I'm like, I still haven't gotten laid. Oh, god damn, man. I mean, it wasn't like a real party thing, like here, you know, the colleges here, unis in Australia here, they're not like, I wasn't staying on campus. I'd go to uni and go home and not talk to any women at all. No, I would talk to women, but I just never got through it all. And I was talking to, like, you know, these like female friends that I started to make at around the same time, like, you know, adjacent to uni. But I guess the problem was that, you know, they're always being snatched up by someone else. Like, I talked to them and I felt like I was even being led on, but then I was like, all right, you know, this is it, you know, we're really liking each other, but then someone else would just come along and snatch them up. It was just like every time, so it was a real bummer for me. So anyway, like, yeah, so with that in mind, back to like the wedding videography stuff, I was like 25, so I was, filming these weddings and editing them and just watching it and just seeing all this love going on, and it just like, it was suicide fuel. It really felt that way, and I was just, I was getting so mad, and it just made me, I felt like I was gonna quit, but I didn't have to, because I got fired instead, so, alright. That was a bummer. But, you know, whatever, I don't know if I could, I might be able to go back into wedding videography now, but yeah, but then like, the year, that was a terrible year. I know that was a terrible year. People could really see it on my fucking face, but like, the next year wasn't as bad, because then I did my master's in filmmaking, and that was like a good year. I felt like I was more friendly with my classmates, you know. Maybe because it was just like the one class. It was just like 20-something people, and everyone was just friends, you know. It was different from uni, where it's just always different people. Sometimes you see the same person in your classes, but there's only a little bit of overlap. But for this, it was like, you know, just all of us, and it seemed to be good, you know, like that I was kind of making friends or being friendly with them. Yeah, I guess sometimes we'd hang out and grab a beer or whatever. And there was also a girl in my class that I was keen on her, and she seemed to be keen on me, and everyone was saying, man, get in there, man. Get in there, and you can make it work. You can guess what happened with that, man. But that's the disappointment, you know, like after I did my master's, I wasn't like, still not getting a job, you know, she rejected me, and like all these friends, you know, I didn't really keep hanging out with them. And it is a shame with filmmaking degree, or like certain degrees where it's good to like know people and be social, because not just because, you know, it's nice and it's good to have friends, you know, make new friends, but it's also good because now you can, like, filmmaking is like a real team effort, and you can have like all these people come together and like, you know, produce something and have like all these people who have their different like specialties that come around and like help you, you know. And if they help you with something and they're doing something that's kind of boring in the filmmaking field of the film that you're making, fine, but like you can do the same for them, you know, and everyone's just helping each other out. So I really think ultimately being an introvert is really overrated. It's not shat on enough. I don't even see any point in being it. I'm gonna have to ask ChatGPT if there's any benefits to being an introvert at all. Alright, so after that, I was just so disappointed. And that's when I kind of just, I still was keeping up with things in life, but I guess I started like, you know, drinking quite a decent amount at this point. I was like drinking energy drinks during the day, and then at night I'd have like 500 mils of whiskey. And I kind of ballooned out. I went from 69 kilograms, I was fairly skinny, to 93. Good stuff. So yeah, I packed it on because I just felt like I didn't care. I was still on dating sites and everything. I was still doing it, and I was still trying to get work, and I kept like getting fired during like the trial period that you would do like work in. I'm sorry, I'm paranoid, I'm just checking. Anyway, so this is 2018, 2019 now. And yeah, it didn't seem like I'd entirely given up. Like, I was still going on dates. I went on some weird ones. I really went on some weird ones. I'll get into that in another video, but specify on that. And I still had like kind of jobs. I was doing very, very casual work with videography, like doing like social media posts for people and that kind of thing. So I got like some pocket money for that, and you know, but it was kind of cool. Like, I still like doing that kind of work, even though I don't think it's like important in the world, you know. It's not like that kind of work, but I do like to just kind of get better at it. Although I feel that way more now than I did back then, to be honest. But anyway, I did some website shit as well, I guess. But yeah, I was feeling pretty down, and I was having some major crash outs back then, that's for sure. What's next? Oh, so next is 2020 happened. So 2020, and guess what? I love that year. Well, I shouldn't say I love it, but It was all right. It was all right. You know, it was a better year, honestly. A bunch of shit happened. I moved out. I moved into this place here. Like, you know, my parents were just like, oh, we'll just buy a bloody thing for you. Like, my parents came into some inheritance and they bought this because that's the thing to do. If you have a whole bunch of money, why not buy a property? And this place has gone up like almost, I think it has, almost twice. It's almost doubled in 5 years. But anyway, I don't know anything about fucking property. Anyway, 2020 happened. I came here and I really cut down on the drinking, losing weight. I was exercising more. I was running around the block and everything, and starting to become, you know, an independent person, I guess. And I'd had some practice, I suppose. But I was able to, I was okay. You know, I can like cook dinner for myself. Not every night, not even most nights, but you know, I can do it. Getting all that done, so you know, that was all fine, and then I guess over the next year and a bit, like I was kind of making money just selling shit on Facebook Marketplace and that. But it's just, you know, it was just so much effort, like just to get little bits of work, you know. And I started getting into bar work, and again, just getting fired from that as well, and just thinking, holy fuck, like I'm just getting fired from everywhere, you know. It's just, that's how it is. I either get fired or people just are like, you know, if they've kind of hired me casually, they're just like, I'm just not gonna, you know, fizzles out, you know, whatever, it's fine. I'm not getting totally ghosted. It's a fizz out, is what it is. Still on the dating app, so still, I think back then I had this thought like, you know, all right, you know what, man, you know, and especially since I lost the weight and everything, and I was going out a lot, like doing stand-up comedy. Like I started getting into that like more in 2020 from that point on. So I started thinking like, yeah, you know, I could bring a girl home now, and yeah, all right, that's cool. I don't have to sneak around my parents or anything. Like, not that I ever did that like back at their place, you know, but like I just had that kind of thought, and I was like, yeah, maybe that could happen. Hey, I could just fuck in the kitchen. It's all good, you know. Yeah. That wasn't happening. Well, nah, like, you know, I've never had a one night stand as much as I've tried, or like, you know, even like on Bumble or anything, just like, yeah. So I was going through a number of jobs, and then I started to be able to like keep a job down at one point, but I quit because the manager was a cunt, so it was a shame. It was a shame because I had one manager and he was awesome, and then this other manager came in and he was even more awesome. He was cool as fuck. Both of them. And then this other guy came in and, oh, it was balls. Everyone hated him, but you know, whatever. Working at a hotel down the road. But anyway, yeah, just like hopping from bar work to bar work and that kind of thing. And it's like, trying to be a fucking filmmaker. I don't want to pay off my HECS debt, my student debt with like bar work. You know, bar work is okay for me. And I have interest in beers and alcohol and kind of just how they're made and everything. Like I could probably work in a distillery, a brewery. I have the vaguest knowledge, whatever. I mean, I try to learn it and then I just forget it, but whatever. And anyway, I was doing that and just still just so depressed, man. Just so depressed from just like lack of like work and like an actual vocation. I'd say more importantly, the lack of like a girlfriend and having love in my life. And I just felt like, like 30, I'm in my 30s and I still haven't had romance in my life. And I was just like, I was really feeling it, you know. I don't know if I'm like skipping over anything now, but like, so last year was a change for me. Last year I got into a relationship and oh my God, I'm starting to like fuck now. I'm starting to like, you know, even kiss women and going on dates and everything. And that was all very cool. And I'm like, better late than never. So that was great, but the woman that I was going out with was really crazy. Really crazy. She was really not with it. So I mean, after all that time, like not even having a girlfriend, after 3 weeks of being with her, I dumped her. So, and because I just felt so bad being with her, like just, it was one of those things where you have to constantly text me. It was like that sort of thing. It just fucked me up. I don't like that kind of thing. Leave me alone. I want to just watch a movie. I like texting with a woman and everything, but yeah. So that's how bad she was, and then like not long after, like in the same year, I got another girlfriend. This went on for 6 months, and it was amazing, and it was just the best time of my adult life. I was like, oh, finally, I feel amazed, even though I feel like, and I even told her this, I feel like a dead plant. But now I'm like, she's giving me the good soil and watering me and giving me sunlight, but I'm still a dead plant, you know, and I have to, it's gonna take time to kind of regrow that green, you know, but I'm still a plant that's like in the same space and everything. But that ended very suddenly. That was like a 180, just, it ended very suddenly. I can get into that another time, but that really fucked me up. And that happened like right around New Year's Eve of this year. So it does feel like, I can kind of think of that year as being like kind of amazing, at least for like 6 and a bit months. And then this year has been shit because I just, you know, wanted to drink myself to death earlier this year. You know, it's, you know, the suddenness of it and just what a change it was in my life. It wasn't like, oh, it's starting to happen. Oh no, hope we don't break up. Oh no. At least I didn't have to go through that anxiety. At least I have that. But it was just such a kick in the dick, you know. And I had my big boohoo moment. It went on for like longer than the relationship probably lasted. Even after 6 months, I was like, oh God, it's like been longer than the relationship and I still feel bad. But like, I don't know, like I've changed some things up at the moment now. I haven't mentioned this, but like I've been on and off with the weed throughout my life since I was 21. That's been a whole thing. I can get specifying that in another video, but that, you know, with this breakup and everything, yeah, I definitely got into that and drank and smoked myself silly, but eventually, I had to kind of just use up what I had and give it up, and I've given it up and see how this kind of goes. I feel pretty fine though. I feel like at least I can be kind of productive throughout my night and day rather than, you know, smoke up. So yeah. Oh, and I quit my job when she broke up with me as well. I was like, fuck this. Oh man, at least I have the privilege to do that. So that is basically where I'm at. I guess there's some other like little details here to fill in, but yeah, I guess we can go into it. But something that I'm thinking about, look, this has just been my life story. I guess we'll quickly get into this, but it does feel like, you know, with me, like the reoccurring thing is just like, I feel like I'm not getting my yield or whatever. I'm not getting like my, like the effort that I'm putting in is just not being seen. Like for me, I don't want to brag, but I'm more educated than I think anyone I know. I don't know anyone else has a master's, and it's in filmmaking or whatever. But even still, I know people who have like less than that in filmmaking and have been able to do more than me, much more. And I was never able to just sort of get into it. I don't know where I've gone wrong, and I've tried to like I think about going to like a film networking thing, and I did that recently, earlier this week. I went to one and I was expecting to see a whole bunch of people there and I could talk to them and like, oh, maybe I'll be able to get a job. And you know what? There was one other guy there. There was one other guy. And it was cool to talk to him. And he was a screenwriter as well. Actual screenwriter, I guess. But he sold some stuff. But for me, yeah, I've written a lot of screenplays as well, but like, they don't go anywhere. They just, I don't want them to be for my own amusement. I don't, as much as I enjoy writing them, I do want to write them to get them made, because I don't know why. I just have it in me to just want them to be made. That's really my big thing as a screenwriter. I'm mostly just writing comedy films these days, but yeah, just all this effort that I'm putting, and then like, you know, I think I've asked out like more women that I can only guess, but like there's a lot of other people. Like I know people who just ask one woman out, that's it, and then they're in a relationship for 15 years and the rest of their life they get married and everything. And for me, I've just been like dealing with not like I've been in a ton of relationships, but like just the amount of women I've asked out, or like, you know, amount of swipes on dating sites, and like going to speed dating as well and all that kind of thing. And yeah, that hasn't gone too well. I can get into that another time. Yeah, so it's just a shame, you know. I just don't think like, you know, life is about like, you know, what you have in your life. It doesn't really like show like the amount of stuff that you've put in. It doesn't show because you can just get fucked up in that kind of way. And I feel like I've been fucked up in small ways, but like multiple times. So it's a bummer, man. I mean, I'll finish this video up soon because I think I got 5 more minutes left because of the whole camera not being able to record more than whatever. But I have thought about like, so the quality of life for me, like it's gone down. Like my life has kind of gotten worse. Like I've always thought like, you know, almost like since I was 1 year old, like every single year just gets worse and worse and worse. And it's like fine for the first 18 years, but it's still getting worse. And like, at least last year when I got like that girlfriend, that was a big change. I suddenly felt like this isn't overrated. Having a girlfriend is fucking amazing. Like especially with her, even though it all ended all fucked up, but she was amazing. And I think she thought I was amazing and it was going well. And you know, it just didn't work out, you know. And I mean, that's fine if that's kind of happening throughout your life. Like if that happens when you're 17 and then 22 and 25, but like for that to be the first time at 33, yeah, it was kind of like, it just like, it weighs heavy because I think like, oh great, like another 20 years until I get a girlfriend or another girlfriend or whatever. I don't know, I gotta keep going, I gotta keep pumping away and banging my head against that wall until it's raw and bloody. And that raw and bloodiness that you get, like, you know, that's like, trying to smile through that. That's when people look at you and see that blood. They're like, oh, I see you're desperate. So it's yeah, it's a shame. And it's like the quality of life goes down like faster than like my efforts to improve it, you know. Like I can have these efforts and maybe some of it like actually like, you know, kind of lands and I'm able to like get certain things in life, you know, like a new shitty job. But like, the quality is still going down, like even like faster, and it's just going down. And it feels like I kind of thought life is just, for me, it's like falling over backwards. There's nothing you can do to like regain and like stand up again. Like you can't, you're just gonna fall back. And all you can do is just sort of move your arms about and get like kind of like leverage, like, you know, to sort of keep your ass off the ground for a little longer than if you just like landed and went straight down. You know, you can kind of keep your, like if you fall over, you are going to instinctually do that. You're going to like try and bring yourself up, you know. And yeah, but the problem is if you just fall over like that and not do anything, it's more graceful. It's more of a graceful thing. It's better to look at. And when people see you just going like that, it's sexier. It shows less desperation. So yeah, I'm just looking at my notes. I think that's gonna be it. This is too long anyway, and that's been me in my first video. This has been fun. I'll think about doing some more because I've been watching a bunch of people, not just women, like a bunch of dudes. I've been watching a lot of this sort of shit for a while now, like mostly incels. We'll get into that later. Incels videos, you know, your classics like, you know, Kent Trey and Oreo Man and He Didn't Succeed and you know. All these kind of guys, I think some others, but I forget the names. Elliot Rogers, no. I bet just saying that's just gonna get like this video taken down from YouTube, because YouTube, I'm so worried about like, anyway, I'll get into YouTube and then another video. I think I have less than 2 minutes, I don't know. And I'm just about finished. I don't want to start recording again and have it go blue. So anyway, that's been me. This is the new channel. I think I have a name for it, but I don't know. I haven't even started up the channel. I'm just recording this. But anyway, I'm rambling now. So that's it for me. If you've watched this far, thank you so much. And leave a comment. This is the main reason I'm doing this, is just to have comments. And I just want to be able to have like solidarity, I guess, and be able to just vent with other people and have other people be able to, you know, I'm venting out here, but then you can also vent out in the comments as well. And you can talk shit about me if you want. I won't delete any comments, but YouTube probably will. So I believe in free speech. That is, yeah, it's gonna be it. I'll do another bunch of these. I have a bunch of ideas of what to do. So I'll see you next time, people.